Most of the hottest women that I've met were not necessarily the prettiest. They weren't the youngest, they weren't the skinniest, but they all have something. They have confidence, a presence, and energy. And that's what we're talking about today, because hotness is not something that you earn, it's something that you unlock. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. My name is Dani, and on this channel, we talk about bettering ourselves from the inside out. So if bettering yourself is something you're into, then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video with me. Today, we're talking about unlocking your hotness, not society's version, not Instagram's version, your version. Something that I love so much that I've learned is that becoming hot has so little to do with how you look. And it has so much more to do with your nervous system and your confidence, your energy, your boundaries, and your willingness to be fully yourself. As always, I've broken this down into sections. So section 1, your hotness is an identity. I want to start this with the idea of neuroscience, right? Your brain is always listening. Your brain is constantly collecting evidence for who you believe you are. And this is why you can have two women, both beautiful women, but maybe one is a little bit more invisible and one is a little bit more magnetic, because it has nothing to do with just beauty. Confidence starts internally. So if your brain is always listening, and I know I've spoken about this before in my videos, and I'm sure you have listened to this a million times, but it's really time to start to lock this in. So if you're constantly telling yourself all these very negative, bad things, right? If your story is, I'm too old, I'm not attractive enough, I'm behind, maybe I'm not smart enough. If that is your story, your brain is always going to find ways to make that true, because that's what you believe. And your brain isn't going against the grain. It wants to make everything easier. So if it feels, it's not knowing that what you're doing is negative. You know that, but your brain is just going along with the system because it's easier. This is why you really need to grab hold of those negative thoughts and throw them in the dumpster. Imagine if your story is, your original story is, I'm too old, but you switch that. You've been watching my videos and you know that age is just you getting hotter and sexier, right? And you tell yourself this. You tell yourself, the older I get, the hotter I get, the smarter I get, the more magnetic I get. Eventually, when you start to believe this, right? Because it's going to be something you have to work on. When you start to believe these new thoughts, that's going to be what your reality is, because your brain is going to see that you're going down this path now. This is the path that I choose. Not, I'm too old, I'm hot, I'm sexy, it doesn't matter what age I am. So your brain's going to start looking for proof for that instead. So in my opinion, of course, this is what you need to do. Drop the old bad habits and allow your brain to look for proof of this new, sexy, hot, bad bitch. Section 2. Age is not the problem. We're going to talk about age, of course. I love to bring age into my videos. The reality of it is that society convinces us when we get to a certain age, we're done. That's it. That youth is our greatest asset. While I do believe when you're at the younger stages of life, it's a different vibe, it's a different energy, it's a different way of being. And if I had the information in my brain now when I was in my 20s, I'd be in a different position. But you're only given what you're given, right? And you only learn what you decide to learn, aside from just in your environment and who you were brought up with, right? So if you have an idea in your head, when I get older, that's just it for me. When I have kids, when I reach a certain age, then that's all I have, then that's going to be your reality. So having this awareness that age isn't the problem, because even though society wants to make you think that after age 25 that you're done and that you are no longer valid in society, I couldn't disagree with this more. As a woman who is 36 years old, I feel so much more connected to who I'm supposed to be today than I ever have in my entire life. My boundaries are stronger, my confidence is deeper, my standards are higher, and my relationship with myself is so much healthier. And to me, that's hot. Allowing yourself to get to know yourself, allowing yourself to have those boundaries, allowing yourself to fully step into who you are, regardless of what age you are, because that's what they're telling you not to do, that's hot. That's sexy. Wisdom is hot. Self-awareness is hot. Knowing yourself, hot. So go against the grain, be a little rebel with a cause, because getting to know yourself and being the hottest version of yourself as you age and as you progress in life, getting older and more self-aware and sexier and hotter, it's like collecting badges of honor, because it's like, yes, I'm getting older. Yes, I'm in my 50s. Yes, I'm in my 60s. Yes, I'm in my 80s, and I'm still hot, and I'm still wearing whatever I want to wear, and I'm still holding my boundaries high, and I'm still hotter than I've ever been. Section 3, the spiritual side of hotness. Spirituality, I believe, is your hotness self-expression. This is allowing yourself to be fully you, because I don't think most people are unattractive, but I do think they're disconnected. When you meet somebody and you're just not attracted to them, let's do this. As you look at the movie star, like a star in a movie, right? And they are the main character. And in the beginning, they're trying so hard to fit in. They want to be liked. They want to be validated. They want to dress like other people. They want to look like other people because they haven't found themselves. As the movie goes on, they start to really become authentic to who they are and recognize that they've had it all along inside of them, right? That's when they become so much more attractive. And that's when you see, like, maybe there's a character in a movie who you maybe in the beginning thought, why would they pick this person for the main character? Because they're not visually stimulating. Then towards the end of the movie, you're like, oh my gosh, it's my new celebrity crush. That is exactly what I mean. When someone is disconnected, they're disconnected from themselves, they're disconnected from their joy, desires, their creativity, their true authenticity. That's what shows that they're not as attractive as they could be. But if you met somebody and they were so authentic and so true to themselves and so connected with themselves, then you would see them as somebody who is a little bit more attractive. So switch that around and make that something that you can go through. Make that something that you can fit into your life. What makes you feel so connected to yourself? Maybe you do need to sit with yourself and meditate and do the breath work and journal and ask yourself those questions of, what would make me love myself right now? What makes me feel most like myself right now? There are so many different journal prompts you can find on Pinterest that will show you and reveal to you these answers once you go through the journaling process. And you're going to see what really makes sense to you and what feels good for you. And that's exactly what you need to do with this, because when you're fully connected and locked into yourself and who you are authentically, then you're going to be so much more magnetic and so much more sexy and hot. Section 4, find your hot. And this should be fun. This shouldn't, a lot of women will get stuck in this situation. They try to copy somebody else's hot, somebody else's body, somebody else's aesthetic, somebody else's personality. But as we just spoke about in the last section, your hotness is going to come from your authenticity. Now, your hotness can be anything, because as we know, hotness, beauty, attraction is all subjective. So what is hot to one person might not be as hot to the next person based on their desires and their beliefs and really what they're into, right? So if your hotness is classy, or if it's feminine or athletic, or maybe it's edgy or playful, the goal is to try things out, of course, and find what's you. For example, I follow a woman called Gala Darling. And she's got pink hair. She wears vibrant pink clothes and purple clothes. And she's got sequins all over. And she's got this cute little bob. And she's got tattoos all over her body. And she is so authentic. And she's so hot. Now, of course, I love the way she acts because it resonates with me. That's why you like people, right? They resonate with something deep inside of you, whether that's how you act now or that's how you want to act, right? To find your true authenticity. That person is connected, like I'm connected to her because of how she portrays herself, because she's so confident and she's so hot and she doesn't care what age she is. She doesn't have to live with her fiance, all these things. I'll link her Instagram in the description box below. But my point is that I wouldn't go and cut my hair into a bob and dye my hair pink. I wouldn't choose the clothes that she wears because I don't think that they would work for me and my color palette and just the things that I like, right? So that whole style that she has, it works so well for her, but I know it's not going to work for me. And I've tried out many styles and many aesthetics, and I have found what I really, really enjoy. And I'm still working on it as I get older. Obviously, I'm still working to see what makes me truly me and what makes me feel authentic in my own clothing. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to go and experiment with this situation because then you'll never know. Now, if you do find somebody who's inspiring and you want to cut your hair into a pink bob, maybe get a wig, try it out, see how you like it. And if you love it, then go for it. My point being, people that you see that you do like, you don't have to be a carbon copy of them. You just have to find things that you like that resonate with you and input them into your life. Section 5, heal the success wounds. Sometimes our blocks for our glow up is not laziness. It's fear. It's fear of being seen, fear of judgment, fear of standing out, fear of success. A lot of us have learned that being too confident is actually considered arrogant. Maybe you've learned that being too visible is dangerous, and there's a lot of hate comments out there, and there's a lot of people that want to hurt you. Maybe we've learned that being too powerful makes other people uncomfortable. When you start making a lot of money, do your friends make you feel like you don't want to celebrate, you don't want to be your best self? When you start getting more opportunities, do the people around you feel concerned? We learn all these things and it makes us shrink. One of the biggest takeaways from this video is hotness requires expansion. You have to be willing to take up space. And when we think about being afraid of being seen, being heard, being just out there in the world with our ideas and our opinions, there will be bad things, right? We will have hate comments. We will have certain situations we run into that we'd rather not, right? But that's a part of it. And the bigger idea here is to remember that that's a small part of it, because there's also going to be the good. There's going to be the comments like, this video is exactly what I needed because it made me feel so much better about my life, or the work that you're doing resonates with me so deeply that, it changed my life completely. There are so many things that we need from you. So instead of sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid to be seen, figure out how you can shift that. Can you go to therapy? Can you go to hypnosis? Can you figure out maybe some self-hypnosis or some EFT tapping or some way to work through that? Because we need your message. We need you to not be afraid to be seen, because you could be out there spreading the word that you have and changing someone's life. Section 6, develop audacity. This is probably one of my favorite parts. Is audacity is hot. And I'm not talking about arrogance, because I know people have a fine line between thinking that being someone who's very audacious, they're a little arrogant. And that's why I wrote an entire book called Full of Yourself, a guide to becoming your most audacious self, because I don't like the idea that people want to make both together as well as being full of yourself. I think there's a way to be full of yourself that is still hot, and it doesn't have to make anybody feel less than. You're just putting yourself first, basically. When I think of audacity, and if you think about any of the women who you know that are audacious, it's the willingness to wear the outfit, to start the business, to make the post, the willingness to reinvent yourself and to raise your standards. It's the idea that I get to have a beautiful life too. Why don't I get to have a beautiful life? If you get to have everything that you want, I should also be able to have everything that I want and desire in life. So when you think about being audacious and having that audacity, it's the willingness to put yourself first, and it's the willingness to find exactly what that means for you, and it's the willingness to be hot because you get to. Section 7, boundaries are hot. Nothing's going to make you more attractive than self-respect. Boundaries are going to tell the world, this is how I deserve to be treated. Women who honor themselves become magnetic. Not because you're perfect and your boundaries are so strong and like you can't do anything. Boundaries don't have to be rigid. They just have to be true to who you are and true to the life that you're trying to create for yourself. If your boundary is, I don't drink alcohol, then don't drink alcohol. And if somebody's like, oh, you're not going to drink alcohol, you're so boring, you're so this, then you could be like, no, thank you, whatever. I don't care what you have to say, but eventually get those people out of your life because they don't want to agree and respect your boundary. You just have to remember that boundaries keep you from the life that you don't want, and they also help you reinforce the life that you do want. And that's hot. And section 8, let's talk about the outside, because obviously looks matter to some point, right? But it's not like in a way that you're thinking like, oh my gosh, what's trending? What does this celebrity do and look like? And I need to look like them. It's more so, what makes me beautiful? And this is where the experimentation comes in, the play and the exploration. You can go online and you can find someone who can tell you what your color palette is, what your season is, as far as, are you a deep winter? Are you a spring? There's like a bunch of different ones that you can see, and it'll show you based off of your skin tone, based off of your eyes and everything you have going on, what colors look best and sexiest on you, as well as what hair color will suit you best. I had to figure out that my hair color that I had before, which was like a really dark black, even though I love black, especially with somebody with really black in general, I love black hair. I think it looks so healthy and beautiful, but on me, I loved the contrast with my eyes. So I decided to ask a professional what color would best suit me based off of all of my features and my eyes, and it said a lighter, softer brown would be best for the way I look. So trying to cultivate this and understand what the best hairstyle is for me, what the best color is for me, what the best makeup routine is for me. These are things that you need to look into if you really do want to just exude this beauty that has your own signature on it. So maybe doing a full glam isn't the best idea for you. Maybe you're someone who can get away with a very little amount of makeup, maybe some mascara and some colored lip gloss, and that's beautiful. But being that person who maybe looks better with less makeup, who always wears more makeup just because, and not because you desire to, but more so because you feel like that's what you have to do, that's when you're going to run into a problem and not feel like your best self. Now, of course, if you love makeup and you want to wear different kinds of makeup, you do you, and that's exactly the authentic part of it, right? Because that's what makes you feel beautiful. So it doesn't matter about the other stuff because that's what makes you feel beautiful. But my point being is there are so much information out there for you to figure out what works best for you, not based on what everyone else is doing, based on what feels like you. Because remember, we're not being carbon copies of everybody else. We're finding ways to be authentic to who we are and our best self, our hot self. Section 9, the real secret. The hottest women I know have one thing in common. They like themselves. Not every day, not perfectly, but fundamentally. They've stopped waiting for permission to enjoy their lives, and they've gone out there and shifted the world around, their own reality around, to figure out, how am I going to make this best for me? And that changes everything. Going out, finding out what makes you hot, finding out what makes you feel hot, allowing yourself to heal those inner wounds, and to really put your best foot forward in allowing yourself to take up space because you deserve it. So if you could take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Hotness is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming fully who you are, because your beauty was never hidden underneath the trend. It was hidden behind your fears. And the moment you start choosing yourself, and the moment you start telling your fear to go away, shifting out of that fear and choosing yourself, that's when the real glow up begins. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you got some good stuff from it and you take it into your daily routines, because we deserve to be hot. And I know I feel hot, and I know you can feel hot. Don't forget to get your copy of my book. It's called Full of Yourself, A Guide to Becoming Your Most Audacious Self, and it's available on Amazon, but I will put it in the description box below. I will put my Instagram right here on the screen if you'd like to have a conversation there about the video or inquire about hypnosis. I am also a master hypnotist and a confidence coach, so we can work through many things. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you can go along this journey with me, and remembering that age is just a number, and if anything, the higher it gets, the sexier you get. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, Love yourself boldly and live audaciously.